welcome to a new episode of Beyond the Jump, the podcast of the launching Global Champions Tour and Global Champions League. This is the second recording because the first recording went wrong, and straight away I was pointed to it by our guest that if I'm allowed to do second takes, she should be allowed to do so too. There was no second take necessary for her in Miami, so I guess by now, maybe with highlighting the Miami name, you should know who our guest is, or my guest is. It's Katrin Eckermann. Katrin Eckermann, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. On a scale of 10, how much are you looking forward to this podcast?
Hello, good evening. Yeah, I'm really...
Be honest.
I'm not the best talker, but I'm really enjoyed that you asked me and that I'm now here with you.
Thank you very much. That's nice to hear. Katrin, how were the last 2 weeks for you?
Well, I had an amazing week in Miami. My first start for the global tour. The whole week went well, and I was really excited. And I ended with a win. I think everyone could see my face. I was overwhelmed. I was so happy, and I really enjoyed it.
Maybe for new fans of the launching Global Champions Tour and Global Champions League, you might seem to be a new name, but actually you are, in percentages, one of the most successful riders ever on the launching Global Champions Tour. How many Grand Prix did you compete in of the launching Global Champions Tour?
Well, I think I was quite young, with 23 or 22. I was third in Hamburg, and 1 year later, I think I won with First of Loan. But I think there were not so many. I think it was only Hamburg.
So you basically rode 3 Grand Prix on the tour, maybe 4 if we forget one, but 3 times you stood on the podium. It's pretty amazing, no?
Yes. I mean, with Carlson and First of Loan, now it's a long time. And now to grow up with the young horses was a long way. And I'm back.
Yeah, you are, and in form, because where to start first? Let's start with Hamburg. What was it, 2014? Because I went through the records a few hours ago in preparation of this podcast, and it was actually a really bizarre year for you. To start with the win in Hamburg on First of Loan, what do you remember of that win?
Well, I remember that I had a long way that I had one down with the horse, and then the year started quite good. I won the Grand Prix in Münster in the indoor, and then actually Hamburg, and the feeling was it was a great jump off, I must say, because with all the big names, and then I was staying there on the podium for the TV and just staying there. Normally I don't watch the other riders, and I had to watch. And then I was staying there and watching, and in the end I won. It was a great feeling.
Do you remember who was with you on the podium? Did you beat? Who was second and third?
I think Scott Bresch or Ben Mayer. I don't.
You literally the best. You were 23 at the time with First of Loan. Was a tremendous win. There weren't any podcasts at the time. Otherwise, we all would have done the introduction to Katrin Eckermann. But then it's in the same year, and it's only a few months later that you go to Aachen with the same horse, and it's a completely different event. It's a completely different turnout. You want to take us back to what happened in Aachen? Yeah.
I had a good start, I must say, and I was allowed to ride the Nations Cup, and this is for sure your question. And the Nations Cup, I fall down on the water, and it was not so easy at this time because First of Loan was not my horse. It was from Meinhof Rönnecke. And then there were the discussion which horse I will ride in the Grand Prix. So everyone said, you have to ride this horse. And in the end, it was not a good idea. So the same happened like in the Nations Cup. I fall down. And yeah, I must say this was a week with all feelings because I also won a class with Carlson. And I must say it was a really, tough year for me. But I think it was the best year for me to say that I get out really strong of it.
Because, and I didn't register it at the time, because you weren't a regular on the Launching Global Champions Tour. I looked it up, and you had the 2 falls with Firth of Loan in Aachen. And it straight away was also the end of your career with him. At the age of 23, less than 2 months before you win one of the biggest Grand Prix in the world, however you want to call it, in Hamburg on a one-off occasion, you can compete on the Launching Global Champions Tour. You win the Grand Prix. 2 months later, you have an upset. It happens. It's a pity that it happened twice. Straight away, you lose the ride on the horse. How does that enter? What impact does that have on a 23-year-old?
I was really happy that during this time I was with Katrin Eckermann, and also my parents, of course, they were on my side. And yeah, for sure with the owners it's not so easy. And after this show, he took the horse away from me. And it took a long time for me to get all out of this things what happened. But in the end, I started then at Katrin Eckermann's place in Warndorf, and we tried our best to come back with young horses and to do business. And it's a hard job, so everyone knows in the business. But I think also for now, I have Calamandia until she's 6 years old. Christian found her, and I'm really happy with it.
Because with Firth of Loan, it also takes you out of contention for, at that time, we're talking 2014, we're talking championships, we're talking everything that was possible in that year. You go from heaven literally straight to hell.
Yeah, that's true. But I must say, now I can say that family is everything. So I really love the sport. I like it, but it makes me stronger to say that it's a sport, but it's not a life what you should only go for it. I think you also, I'm more proud to say that I have a big family. It's really important for me.
Yeah. Family, that's where it starts. Your father, Otmar Eckermann,
yes.
Rider, trainer, breeder, owner. I guess it all starts with him and your mother.
Yes.
Your equestrian story, the horse bacteria.
Yeah, my dad, like you said, my mom, she was not riding so much, but my dad is, a fantastic breeder, fantastic dad. He's everything for me, and we are talking every day. And I'm so proud and happy that I have such a nice family.
Yeah. Did you have him? Was he one of the first people on the phone when you won in Miami?
Yes, I called him directly, and they were really proud, and they were watching the whole night. And also my brothers. I have 2 brothers. They are not riding, but they were also watching, and I was so happy about it.
Yeah. Must be amazing to sit at home and follow how it all turned out. So your father is very much a horseman. What did he teach you in terms of horses? What's his strong point that you took over from him?
Going forward, I remember that he always, when I started riding, going forward. I must say he never had a teacher. He was doing everything by his own, and so I must say I learned a lot from him, but I think I also got a little bit the talent from him. And the good thing was that he always let me ride all the horses. Like I break the 3 years old horses, the young ones and the older ones. And I started with the ponies, but also I rode then the horses from him. So I think everything made it.
Yeah, came through him a little bit. Yeah. Now, like when you're here in Mexico, when we're recording this podcast, or when you're in Miami, do you discuss even a course plan with him? Do you ring him before the class, or how far does your relationship go with your father in terms of the sport?
No, I'm not talking with him about the course, but of which horse I will ride, or how is the feeling, or like, yeah. And also, I mean, not now, but after the courses, we are also talking.
Yeah, because he's also the breeder of Chao Li and owner of Chao Li. That's a pretty special story. And he bred the horse. It's successful. You were world champion with it, 6-year-old horses in Lanaken, I guess, and now still going strong.
Yeah, he's a breeder, and but he never rode her, I must say. We have one girl in the stable. She's also riding the young horses. She rode her a few shows, and then she came to my stable, and then I must say it was going really fast also for the German championship, for the Bundeschampionat, for the young horses. She won for the 5 years old. And directly I had her in my heart because she's so a cute horse, a lovely horse, and a big fighter. She's not the scopiest horse, I think, but she has a good mind, and I think it's really important.
Because you travel. You're the only one, I think, who travels to Miami and Mexico on her debut on Global Champions League with 2 9-year-old horses on 2 very difficult rings, two very difficult arenas. With what ambition did you come with 2 9-year-olds?
Yeah, I must say I was a bit scared. Also, when Katrin Eckermann was the one who asked me if I want to go in the team and to ride the global tour, and I was thinking a lot because my horses are...
You mean before the season?
Yeah. Only 9 years old, and okay, now we are here, and I think I don't expect too much because they're quite young, but I still have a good feeling.
Yeah. Okay, a good feeling. Let's be honest. We're 2 stages into a 16-stage season. You've won the Grand Prix already. The season is quite made. Let's be honest about that. But how far do you think these horses can take you this season? The 9-year-olds is Calamania the most experienced, or is Chao Li the most experienced? Where do they compare to each other?
I think they are both a bit the same. The only thing, Calamandia, she has more scope, and she takes it easy. So she's not spooky, or you can start directly with a big class. Chao Li is a little bit more that you should look that she has a smaller class, and because she's so careful. So
because you're new in Global Champions League. Just before we recorded this podcast, I asked you, who are you going to ride in the league? And you say, I'm going to ride Chao Li. And you say, but Christian Eckermann wasn't super happy.
Yeah, I mean, it's if I think I have the feeling, then I do it. It's I think a good thing from me. Well, we will see tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I think, I mean, they are both 9 and both can jump it.
Yeah.
So, and also I think it's nice for Kala to start tomorrow, and then she has Saturday, hopefully 2 classes.
Yeah. So Christian Eckermann contacts you and says, hey, Katrin, Shanghai Swans, Global Champions League team. Would you be interested to come onto the team? Is that how it goes, or how do those negotiations go? Or how do you react when you get a question like that?
Yeah, I was really surprised, but I also was. Yeah, I was for a long time not so sure because of the age of the horses, and I mean it's a long season, and I followed the last years the global tour, and yeah, I think it's also can be hard for the horses, so you have to take care, and yeah, but of course I was happy when he asked me, and in the end. I think after 8 weeks, he got an answer from me.
You're kidding, right?
Yeah.
Everybody would jump a hole in the sky, and you wait 8 weeks before you give them an answer on whether or not you would be on the team.
Yeah. He thought the same.
Why do you think they ask you?
Yeah, because I think they are good horses and can be a good match, I think.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a little bit of background information. I also had to do my preparation for the podcast. So I asked some German and other riders, other nationalities. I said, "What do you think of Katrin Eckermann?" I said, "You don't find them as tough and as straightforward in the ring as Katrin. So dedicated, so." No, I don't want to. They didn't use the word result-driven, but such a fighter in the ring. Is that your strength? Are you more a ring rider or a schooler, or how do you see yourself on a horse?
I mean, I'm a fighter, but I'm not really like that. I only think about it the whole day, and that I say I really want it now. It's in the course, I'm a fighter, but I also love to school the horses and to bring them to the bigger sport. I like everything, I must say.
Yeah, because and that shows in I have to be careful. Zhao Li also being world champion of 6-year-old horses and Bundes champion 5-year-olds, and second as a 6-year-old.
Yes.
What a record already. Is there life next to Zhao Li and Kalamandia? Is it Kalamandia? You say it differently, no? Kalamandia, you say. How do you say it?
Kalamandia.
Kalamandia, yeah, there you go. Is there just a 2-horse race, or is there more than those horses in your string?
I have 2 other 9-year-old horses. I also competed last weekend in Hagen, and 1 10-year-old stallion. So they are also, I think, they also will start for a global show, maybe. Yeah.
Well, that's Cascadello Boy, Christians Chaco, and
Tiamo. Yeah.
Okay. Try to do my homework here. I want to come back to the not the incident, but how it turned out with Firth of Lorne. Is that something that is still on your mind? Not the Firth of Lorne, but the fact that you ride horses for owners and it can change at any time. Does that change also your perspective on relationships with owners? How?
Yeah, of course, it really changed because until that time, I must say, I didn't ride horses for owners because I was so disappointed, because I think you work the whole day with the horses and you give everything, and I think if you win together, you also should
lose together,
and that was not the point, and I think then it doesn't make sense to work together. And also I get stronger out, but at the time I really must say it was for sure the hardest time for me to be really in the big sport. And then there were, I mean, for example, also with Piqueur, they sponsored me, and then they asked me, like, because the contract was over, what we're going to do. And then they asked me about the horses, and I said, like, yeah, I don't have Firth of Lorne. And so they also said directly then not. So there were a lot of things what was yeah, they were gone and you're on the ground, I must say. It was a feeling like, you're nothing. So everything was away. And so I start again. And now I must say, I think I'm really strong.
Yeah. Of course, Chao Li is your father's. Your relationship with your father is quite good.
Yeah.
So that's a horse that you can count on. Maybe she would get sold, but for the rest of your life, your father will stick with it. Yeah. It's a comfortable situation. No, it's a nice situation.
Yeah. And I mean, also with Christian, that he's keeping the horses and that we were trying a long time to do the big sport. And now I think is a time that everything worked out.
Yeah. I hear you say you're very much into your family. Family is important to you. And I also hear you say you're not constantly thinking about winning all the time. And when you're in the ring, you want to get the result. What's life outside of horses for Katrin Eckermann?
I really enjoy doing some fitness and just enjoy the time with friends, family. Nice dinners, what you do.
Any musical talent? Oh, this is a scoop. Tell us.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Helene Fischer.
No, I thought you were going to say I play the violin or the saxophone or the piano. No, Helene Fischer.
I'm a big fan of Helene Fischer. Yeah.
Wait, is that's what's the song again? Helene Fischer.
Atemlos? There's so many.
I think Christian Alman can sing all of them, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Where were we? So outside the sport, good fitness facility here. We're in Mexico in the hotel.
Yeah.
You tried it already?
Tomorrow, today, 5:15, I think I was there.
In the fitness?
Yeah.
But that's because of the jet lag, or do you always get up early?
No, I always get up early. I must say, during the summer, I wake up at 5 and I really enjoy to have a run in the morning and then to start earlier. The winter is not my best time, but...
5?
Yeah.
It's the middle of the night. It's not early in the morning, it's the middle of the night.
Yeah, but it's not dark outside and the day has already started, so yeah. I really like it.
If you start so early, give us some insight on how your day at Christian Glanemann's goes. How many horses are on your list? How many do you ride?
I have between 10 and 12 on my list, and I ride, I think, around 8 horses a day.
Yeah. But then if you start early, you'll also finish a little bit earlier.
Yeah, it depends. Sometimes, there's some clients or...
Because Christian is sports stable, but mainly a dealing stable, if I have it right. Because you're based Bielefeld, Münster, Osnabrück,
Warndorf.
Yeah.
Between Münster and Osnabrück.
That's really horse country. That's Westphalia.
Yeah,
Westphalia. Everybody's in that area, no?
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah. There are a lot of horses.
Who are your? Do you have some famous neighbors that our listeners should know in that area?
Our neighbor is Monica Teodorescu, dressage.
Yeah, there you go. Olympic rider, Monica Teodorescu, Olympic everything, literally everything.
Yeah, Frank Slodak is 20 minutes. Yeah.
So you started riding with your father. I have to be careful. I looked it up. And then you went to Good Battle, Hendrik Snoek. That was the time of Firth of Lorne in that area, right?
Yeah, first I went to Holger Hetzel. I did my schooling with Holger, half of the schooling, and the rest I did then at Good Battle. 2011 I went there. And I had a great time with Kurt Gravemeyer.
Yeah?
Yes.
Let's take it step by step. Holger Hetzel. highly energetic. I think he also gets up at 5. I don't know, but by the rhythm of his walk, and when you have him on the phone, I think he gets up at 5 and drinks a lot of coffee. He's also quite a character. What did you learn there? What was interesting at his place?
I really enjoyed there. I started at the auction time.
Yeah.
So it was a really busy time, but there were so many clients and so many different kind of horses. It was a great team there, and I learned a lot of dressage work from him. And he's really, I must say, he's a real person you have with respect. And also he's like...
in German?
Yeah, like he's really
disciplined.
Disciplined, and if he wants something, he's doing it.
I always hear this story during the auction of Holger Hetzel, that he's got this one person that he calls no matter what time. If he hears something about a horse in Denmark or in France or whoever, it's always the same guy that he calls, and that's the guy who drives. Do you know who it is? No?
No.
I think it's a fascinating story. There's one person that he always rings. So the person drives. It's the only thing he does for Holger is just driving the car to wherever in Europe to find horses. It was a hilarious story that when he explained it in one of the auctions. I thought you might know him. So then you went to Good Barrel, where you followed in the footsteps of Tony Hassmann, I think.
Yeah.
Tony stopped and you started there. And that's when Firth of Lorne, I think also Lolita came onto your path.
Yeah, Firth of Lorne was not there, but Lolita was there, and some other horses. But I also took 3 horses from my home, from my dad. And then after half a year, I think Firth of Lorne came. And also Henrik Snook bought half of Carlson and Nabab.
Yeah, and Bab de Revel. Yeah.
And I must say, this was my big career started there, because we went to all big shows, and Kurt was such a fighter and a great person.
So how does Kurt come into the story? Kurt Gravemeyer, who was Belgian team coach for a while, but who was German team coach for a long period, Nations Cup coach, performance manager, himself a very successful rider as well. How does he come into the story at Good Barrel? Did he come to train there, or?
I mean, he was riding there also, and then he trained Markus Mesch-Vormann and Tony Hassmann. So he was the trainer there for many years. And I think we had great shows together.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'm always trying to pick people's brain. So I know what you learned from your father. I now understand what you learned from Holger Hetzel. What was the point that you picked up with Gravemeyer?
He was really, when we walked the course, he really wants to win every class. So he pushed me a lot. I think this was a really good thing from him.
Drive to perform.
Yes.
Not drive to survive, but drive to perform. All right. And then as it ends at Stalsnoek or at Good Barrel, you move to Christian Glaneman in. Is it quite a long way? Because you grew up not so far from the Dutch border, right? Near the Nijmegen area.
Nijmegen, yeah.
So how is your Dutch?
Ik kan een beetje Nederlands praten, maar...
Oh, this is another scoop. Oh, that's good, actually.
Yeah, but not too much. I mean, I was a lot... Yeah, I was not so much at home, I must say, with all the shows and... Yeah.
Is it how far is it now from your parents' place to where you're based now? How long of a drive?
200 kilometers.
Yeah. Was it? You've got a good relationship with your father, and was it difficult to move away?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to go back from home, and then we talked there, and then the last day he said, like, now you will go there, and
So you didn't want to go away.
no. And then I think we bring all the stuff to Münster, and then the last day when we went there, and he was like just saying to me, like, this is your new home now. And I was crying a lot. Like the first week was terrible for me, but then we went directly to the first show in Offenburg, and the next was Dortmund. So they came also to Dortmund, and I was crying. But then after this 2-3 weeks, yeah, I must say it was nearly the best time of my life there. I really enjoyed it there with the team.
When you say there, you mean
Münster.
Good Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
With the team and with the horses, the time to grow up, to do the bigger shows, and it was so excited at this age, I must say.
It's really nice to hear that because we started the conversation about Firth of Loan and about the fall and about Firth of Loan being taken away and being it kind of a big pause in your sports career. It's great to hear you say that it was one of the best times in your life. That though it ended a little bit sour, that you look back at it with a lot of positive emotion.
Yeah, because I think I went out strong out of it, but I think you should learn also out of it. It's the life.
Yeah,
you should take the positive things out of it.
Yeah, let's life lesson from Katrin Eckermann, free on Spotify. What is the life lesson then? What was the positive thing? What did you take away from it?
I think when you at the age from 20 to 30 around, I would say I think they should happen a lot of mistakes and also with people, but I think you should learn to talk about and to see everything positive, I would say. And I also could talk a lot with my parents that I can say now it's a great time. And I must say, I'm really happy now.
That's super nice. Super nice to you. I can also imagine that you're quite happy after winning the Launching Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Miami. But no, I mean it. Katrin, before we round off this podcast, what's the ambition for you and the team this season? Because we have to talk Shanghai Swans, of course. What's the ambition with you and the team? How do you look at this team and at this league?
First of all, I think we have a great team. It's my first year to be in a team. So for me, everything is a bit excited and not so easy to say which rider's doing which shows. I mean, with all the different horses and riders. But I really enjoy to be in this team and to watch all the teams. And in the end, I think, for example, last year in Prague, I was not there, but I watched it. And I was a bit nervous also to watch and to see all the rounds. With so much pressure for the riders. It was great sport. And I'm really excited.
Are you somebody who wants to go first or second on the team, or does that not matter for you?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, you kind of like pressure. I have a feeling you don't really you don't mind too much, do you?
No.
Yeah, it looks like it. There's where do you think this team can end? Shanghai Swans. It's a long season. A lot can happen.
Yeah.
Horses have to stay fit. I know. but apparently there's a strong team in Stockholm Hearts who didn't have a good round in Miami, so they are vulnerable. Valkenswaard United, super successful in the past and are struggling. Paris Panthers also have a superstar lineup, but haven't won a stage just yet, and lost out on that occasion in Miami. And now it's Berlin Eagles who lead the championship. It's Madrid in Motion who is very strong. At the beginning of the season, it looked like it was going to be a race between two teams, like it was a race between Valkenswaard United and Shanghai Swans last year. And now, you as a newcomer, how do you look at those teams and at your team? Where do you rank your team and the potential for your team?
Yeah, like you say, it's a long season. It's difficult to say now. But for sure, Berlin Eagles is a really strong team. And I think...
Did you speak inside the team about ambition? Where this team wants to end?
No, only Christian told me like we are not allowed to do so many faults. So I think there's a bit pressure now. I think we are on 6.
It hasn't gone great yet.
Yeah, so we would say like this. And yeah, so there's a bit pressure.
Yeah. Do your horses suit this ring, you think, this weekend here in Mexico? Because you have to come out with a result at some point. It hasn't been great. It hasn't been terrible. There's other teams that have, but if you want to be a top 4 contender, it has to start. Do you think, we're looking at all the other teams as well, with your own horses being 9 years old, with Christian, with Pius, with Alexander Thornton, with Max Kühner, with Jean Sadran, do you think there is the potential to finish top 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you mean it? Because, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
Yeah, okay. We're closing off this podcast. Tomorrow starts Global Champions League Round 1. On Saturday, it's Global Champions League Round 2. What makes it a good weekend for Katrin Eckermann?
Yeah, I mean, I had a great start, and now...
Because we can't stop the podcast, because you're also going to Prague, of course, and you already, of course, Shanghai Swans will be going to Prague. Hopefully, it's going to be a semi-final if you're a top 4 team. But straight away, there's no pressure. You're going to the Super Grand Prix.
Yeah,
against Stuttgart. That's already one name that is confirmed. How do you look at that? Because apparently you've been watching GCTV. Thank you very much for that. Super Grand Prix. It's also a big test.
Yeah. Yeah, I must say I really enjoyed to be here, and also last week I had no pressure, or I'm just here. I have a good feeling, and then we see what's going on.
Okay, so all of a sudden I remember one thing. A little bird landed on my shoulder and said, somebody whispered in my ear and said, Katrin Eckermann wasn't really sure about riding the Grand Prix. We didn't talk about that yet. You weren't super convinced about riding the Grand Prix just yet, were you?
In Miami?
Yeah.
No, I walked the course from the team class, and then I thought to change the horses.
Oh, yeah.
So then I asked Christian, and he was looking at me like...
That was before GCL round 2.
Yeah.
Then you wanted to go to Jiaoli.
Yeah. But then in the end it was not working out, and yeah. Good for me.
Yeah, you had to stick with what you had, and
yeah.
it felt good. Yeah, all right. So you don't put any pressure on yourself, because you don't want to tell me what makes a good weekend. You just want to enjoy it. Okay, respect that. You do like to ride under pressure, but what can we wish you? What can we wish you for the weekend?
Lots of luck.
Lots of luck. Okay, we wish you that for the weekend. 39 minutes we made this podcast. On a scale from 1 to 10, how bad did you think it was going to be, and how bad was it in the end, doing this podcast?
It was great.
All right, super. Katrin, thank you very much for taking the time. It's late here in Miami, but nevertheless, thanks for taking the time. Good luck this weekend. I think everybody wishes you the best of luck. To our listeners also, thank you very much for listening here, whether you're watching, listening on GCTV or on Spotify, no matter where. Much appreciated. Hope you enjoyed. And stay with us. Follow us on social media, GCTV. Make sure you've got your live and pro passes ready to follow all the action from Miami and the stages to come. So thank you very much and talk to you next time.